Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. I want to get right into it. A big rainmaker and a big flood potential is on the way. So I want to dive into this. Now, starting right off with the European model, here's Cuba, Jamaica. It's this area here, south of Jamaica, south of Haiti and the Dominican Republic by Colombia and Venezuela. That is going to flare up. Now, this is the outlook. This is what's going on today. And then I want to get into the outlook as we go ahead. Now, this rainmaker will develop down here, okay? Now, where it exactly goes, still a little bit of fine tuning needs to be done, but anywhere from the Cayman Islands all the way back toward the northeastern Caribbean, British, U.S. Virgin Islands, Antigua and Barbuda, somewhere in this area, we're going to have a big flood maker lifting up. Now, we need some rain. That's some of the good news with it. Some of us had some rain last night in spots as expected, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but this rainmaker will come with that additional flood and mudslide risk. Could be some life-threatening flooding. Now, let me jump ahead. This is Monday, setting the stage. You see the moisture building here and already getting some signs of moisture on Monday, Haiti near Jamaica over toward Cuba and the Cayman Islands. Now we have one system up here. That's important. I want to show you the setup in a moment. This is going to help to feed in this moisture to us. But you see on Monday, starting to get a better chance of rain and storms already. But look at this. This is when it flares up as we get into the middle of the week. So we'll go from Monday into Tuesday. And you see this moisture building in the Caribbean. And look at all that rain that's going to be setting up. Watching near the Cayman Islands, we'll be right on the edge of it, but especially closer toward Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, and the DR, and then swinging over toward Jamaica, a big surge of rain moving in. So I need to fine tune the locations, and I'll go island by island as we get out in time. Again, this is the middle of the week, but a big surge of moisture, and it's all tied into what's going on in the U.S. A lot of fronts up here, a lot of storm systems. These up here are actually going to help to draw in some of the rain and storms. And in this big time tropical downpours, a lot of that starting on Tuesday and then right into Wednesday by the middle of next week. So you see by the middle of next week, here's that front in the U.S. Lots of rain, lots of action around. So if you're prone to flooding anywhere from parts of the northeastern Caribbean all the way back toward the Cayman Islands, not all of us are going to see that. I'm going to fine tune this. We're not going to see that big of an area, but that's the general area that could get some flooding rain by the middle of next week. So you got to keep in mind maybe some of the preparations you need to take. The river crossings, those will be a mess. Haiti and the Dominican Republic. And this is deeper into next week as we work our way from Thursday into Friday. Things start to settle at this point, but still the elevated chance of rain. But we're going to see some fronts that'll zip by, kind of change the pattern. But we have a very, very active pattern moving in. I believe we were talking about this about a month ago, that later in May, we would see the rain chance picking up, and that's exactly what's happening. Now, some of us still need to get the rain. Belize, for example, Honduras, Guatemala, with those wildfires, the rain chance is just not too high. So it's not for all of us, but at least this is breaking down the pattern. So this is by the time we get into Friday of next week, these fronts again will eventually change the pattern a little bit. But a huge rainmaker is on the way. So giving you that early heads up, and this is really what we've been talking about over the last few weeks. Now, here's the setup. Why is this going to happen? And I want to show you the American model in a second. That was the European model. Well, what's happening is these systems up by the U.S. that are bringing severe weather up toward the southeast U.S., those are kind of diving down. Now, winds around an area of low pressure, those are counterclockwise. And then over here, high pressure, you have a clockwise flow. And we're going to be right in the middle of it. Both of these just to the north of us, that will help to just draw in. You see those arrows there, draw in that moisture. So a couple systems up here that will feed in the moisture. So it's kind of the perfect setup, if you will, to get some of the rain, some of the heavier rain and the flood potential. That's the setup that I'm seeing. And you can see it here too. The models are matching up. And I don't just look at the models. As you can tell, I look at the environmental setup and what's going on. But I've been watching all the models too, the European, the American, Canadian, and they're all seeing the same thing, at least somewhere in the Caribbean, a big surge of moisture. So this is by Tuesday. So this is Tuesday morning. You see how things are looking okay, but you look down here near Colombia. We've had some big flooding the last few days, especially south central areas. But there we go. As we get into Tuesday afternoon, already starting to flare up, more rain and storms around. And then you could see here, there's that rain. And where you see the greens, that's kind of more typical rain. But where you see the yellows and the oranges here, that would be the really heavy tropical downpours. This would be by Wednesday morning. And you see what I was talking about with Jamaica and the Cayman Islands being on the edge of it. So Jamaica, I'm going to be watching this closely, and the Cayman Islands and Cuba to see how close this rain gets. But as we go throughout the day, Wednesday, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and near Puerto Rico and the British and U.S. Virgin Islands. And this may clip us by as well in the ABC Islands, this big time surge of moisture. And you see those brighter colors showing up. And that's why I have the high concern for life-threatening flooding and those mudslides. So we'll see if this batch of rain is a little bit more over here. It could be a little bit more over here. This is several days away, but this is Wednesday, and you see that big stream of moisture that just moves in. Now, could it organize into something tropical? I'm not seeing that at this point. So regardless of that, just because the winds in the upper atmosphere are kind of a little bit unstable, so I'm not seeing it developing into a tropical storm or something like that. I'll always keeping an eye on that for sure. But either way, the forecast would generally be the same because we've got that rain that will be coming at us. Now let me bring back into the short term. So this is today. So I was just looking ahead there. This is our Friday afternoon. We had some welcome rain overnight, parts of Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We were talking about this on Monday, that I was seeing kind of a uptick in the rain later this week, and we were just hoping some of the rain would feed in, and we did have some of that. We're going to see that in the southeastern Caribbean. I'll show you the rain totals in a second. In the southeastern Caribbean flaring up, so some scattered showers. Still not all of us getting it, and no, it's not enough, but at least what we've been talking about here, we're getting the signs that we're getting into the wet season, or at least closer to it. This is on Sunday, and you see Sunday, Trinidad up toward Barbados, St. Lucia, some spotty showers around Costa Rica and Panama wet. And then I'll get into the Eastern Pacific in just a moment with the potential of development there. This is by the time we get into Monday, stopping the clock here on Monday. In Monday, we get our first signs that we're going to see this developing area down here with that surge of moisture. You see the thunderstorms popping up in Cuba, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. That's telling me the atmosphere is very unstable. Then by Tuesday, you see it there. Watching my friends in Colombia, we're going to have a high threat of flooding again to start. Costa Rica and Panama, the rain. And we'll see if this creeps in toward Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. Early heads up that on Tuesday in the ABC Islands, we could see some of that rain starting. And there's that closer look, that surge of rain working in anywhere from the northeastern Caribbean all the way back through the Cayman Islands. But you see in the Cayman Islands, as of now, from what I'm seeing, it would be just off to the east. But there is still a window where it could maybe shift over here or shift over here, because this is out in time. You know how the weather changes. It does evolve, and I do my best to stay on top of that for you. But right here, you see that big plume of rain and storms. There will be some gusty winds in this too, but an extreme flood threat, that is starting to look more and more likely as we get into next week. Now, breaking down some of the rain totals as we go through the weekend. So I'm not going to jump into the rain totals yet, because those wouldn't be accurate if I went island by island for the middle of next week, because they would change so much since I'm not positive where the rain exactly is going to hit the hardest. So let me back off a little bit, get into the short term, and you see still some flooding rain in potential parts of Guyana and Suriname through the weekend. And then you see here, let me break this down a little bit further and zoom in. This is a 4-day rain total, so this would take us through Monday here. Here's Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, and Venezuela. And you see some spots over toward Trinidad of 75 millimeters of rain, or 3 inches of rain. We will have those scattered showers around, and hopefully they creep up a little bit more to the north. But there's the flooding potential again, where some spots over the next 4 days through the weekend into early next week. Guyana, Suriname could get upwards of 100 millimeters of rain, or 4 inches of rain, and more than that. You see the black and even that red shading showing up. Now, it is all tied into what's going on in the U.S. You see these big systems that have been rolling by, and these, yeah, they stay up here, but as I was just showing you with that setup, they help to draw in the moisture sometimes when that setup just kind of falls into place. Big weather once again up toward parts of the southeast U.S. We've had a lot of severe weather up there. As of now, we've been watching some showers and storms near El Salvador, Nicaragua, close to Costa Rica. and back toward Columbia. And here are some of those spotty showers that we've had near St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, this is the area I was watching yesterday for the possibility of development. It was looking likely yesterday. Some of the models had development, others didn't at all. And I'm not really seeing much development right now. And the National Hurricane Center has backed off as well. We're only looking at about a 20 to 30% chance of development at this point. The winds aren't as favorable as they were looking or as conducive for development. So here we go in Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua right here. There will be some scattered showers around really inland interior sections of Honduras south. Belize, we're still way too dry. In Mexico, we definitely need to get some of the rain. So it was this area here, but look what happens. Not much development as we get into tomorrow. Now, I hope we get some spillover showers, though, still in parts of southeastern Mexico and Guatemala. We do have a chance of some rain moving in. The wildfires have been crazy bad. The haze, the smoke, the bad air quality. But you see here as we get into Sunday, not really seeing signs now that this area will develop. I'll watch it closely. But more importantly, as we've been mentioning together, we need to get some of the rain, and at least we have a chance of some of those showers trying to scoot into parts of Mexico and Guatemala. I'll be watching that, but the core of the rain would be offshore, but still seeing the higher rain totals, Costa Rica and Panama, all the way into Monday, over 100 millimeters or over 4 inches of rain. And then you see here in Belize, most of it's just over toward Guatemala. Rain chance will go up, so higher totals southwestern parts or southeastern parts of Mexico. Not so much the Yucatan, though. Yucatan back through Belize, Honduras, we're mainly dry. Nicaragua, better chance of some rain, especially in our southern and Pacific side, where we could get some of those higher totals. Now, Aletta, that would be the first name if something did spin up on the Pacific side. But as of now, not really seeing signs of that. But that is the first name. Over on the Atlantic side, not seeing signs of any development yet. The season hasn't even started yet. We're still a couple weeks away. But Alberto is the first name on the list. Beryl, Chris, and then Debbie. So 2 sets of names. Now here's the big picture. So watching over toward Columbia again, I want to just bring into the short term. Columbia, that's where the moisture will build early next week and then lift to the north. But some severe weather possible again, especially been watching Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, back through parts of Florida. Look at that line that'll set up later today, tonight, into tomorrow. This is tomorrow. Very aggressive weather up here, but those are the systems. The weather is amazing how it's just so tied together on a huge scale that you have some stuff up here that could impact some stuff well down here in the Caribbean. And these systems just keep rolling by. Could see some heavier weather in parts of Florida by the time we get into Sunday with some bigger storms and bring in some of that rain back over toward Bermuda. And as I mentioned, it's all tied together. The top end of these systems keep it very unsettled. Atlantic region of Canada back toward the northeast. You see as you get over toward the mid-Atlantic today, there will be some of the rain. So this is on the northern stretches of all of this weather that we're highlighting as we work our way from Friday into Saturday. Scattered showers, Quebec over toward New Brunswick. Watching, there's Maine over toward Nova Scotia, seeing that chance of some of the rain. And there we go again over toward the mid-Atlantic of the U.S. More in the way of some rain and storms. And you see some of the wet weather that will be around Newfoundland by the time we get into Sunday. That rain chance will be getting higher. So Jamaica, as it stands now, the next couple of days, just an isolated chance of a shower or storm. Cayman Islands, the rain chance stays minimal. We're really looking at next week for that much better chance. Trinidad and Tobago, though, scattered showers around. This is what I've been harping on all throughout the week, hoping some of that moisture would work in. Barbados could see a few passing showers. And in St. Lucia, through the weekend, a 30 to 40% chance of rain. It's not a washout in Grenada, but at least we have a 40% chance of getting some rain. We've already had some rain. St. Vincent, the Grenadines, water restrictions are out, and for many of us, those river levels are so low across parts of the Caribbean. Now, Martinique, 20 to 30% chance of rain, 30% chance as we work our way into Dominica, and then a 20 to 30% chance in Guadeloupe. So rain chance all on track. Antigua and Barbuda, 20 to 30% chance into the weekend. St. Kitts and Nevis, 20 to 30% chance over toward Montserrat. St. Bart's, Anguilla, isolated shower the next couple of days, and about a 20% chance St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. Puerto Rico, though, we'll see a little flare-up each afternoon where we could get some of those scattered storms. U.S. and British Virgin Islands, 20 to 30% chance. Dominican Republic, isolated shower. Please, by the way, if you can't share this information, get it out there for that early warning on some of the flooding that is going to be coming our way. Haiti in particular, rain chance now 20%. We could see a huge surge by the early and middle portions of next week. Bahamas, rain chance eliminated. Could see some storms, though, on Sunday in the northern Bahamas. Turks and Caicos, rain chance 20%. Belize, I'm watching us very carefully with that air quality that is low, with the drought conditions that we have. Aruba, rain chance through the weekend about 10%, 10 to 20% chance in Curacao, but next week, watching some of that rain that we'll be trying to pump in. Guyana, the rain chance stays high, watching out for some areas of flooding, watching out for some areas of flooding in Suriname. Cuba, it would just be that pop-up shower or storm. Rain chance stays on the elevated side, but it does go down some in Costa Rica and Panama. Honduras, mainly inland, a chance of a couple of showers or western zones. Highest terrain could see a few. Yucatan of Mexico, not much rain over the next few days. It would be a pop-up shower or storm. Northern Venezuela, 30 to 40% chance, and some spotty showers possible as we work our way toward Bermuda with those fronts that will be clipping by. So watching next week very closely, the major flood threat, watching the rivers, the mudslide potential, the life-threatening flooding that may set up for some of us, a big pattern shift. And on the eastern Pacific side, there's some action out there, but right now, not seeing anything organized. On the Atlantic side, the hurricane season starts June 1st, and we're about to kick off next week with some big areas of rain. So thank you for subscribing and getting this information out there. I will keep you posted on any changes nonstop. I hope you have a good rest of your day.